Salam sejahtera, selamat datang ke Bola Itu Live. Faiz, rasa kekok tak hari ni? Sebab selalu saya dengan awak duduk berjauhan sedikit. Tetapi hari ni kita nampak duduk agak berdekatan.
Ada aura-aura Premier League winner dekat sini.
So, itu yang membuatkan kita duduk sedikit rapat.
Sedikit rapat dan di seberang kita ada seorang yang mempunyai aura tadi itulah.
Yes, ini adalah Bola Itu Live, episod yang special kerana untuk setengah jam pertama, kita ada seorang tetamu istimewa all the way daripada bumi Manchester, seorang individu yang suatu ketika dahulu pernah memenangi Liga Perdana Inggeris. Tuan-tuan, puan-puan, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the one and only Phil Jones. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us on Bola Itu Live, Phil.
Thanks for having me. It was a good, nice warm welcome, that.
You understand that?
A little bit.
How was the golf in Thailand?
Golf was amazing. As you can see, I'm a little bit red, so the heat was a bit intense. But no, I really enjoyed it. Really good competition. It's you know, everyone wants to win. Everyone's still got that competitive edge.
Did you only started golf after you play, or you've been playing while you were playing?
Yeah, no, on and off while I was playing. It's very difficult when you've got 3 games a week and you're flying Champions League, Europa League. So it's hard to play. And when I got the chance, I played. But I certainly played a lot more since I finished. Yeah.
If you played in your playing days, who were you playing with? Your teammates?
Oh, good question. Michael Carrick sometimes.
The gaffer.
Wayne Rooney tried a little bit. When we used to meet up with England, we used to meet up at a place called the Grove in London, and they used to have a facility there that had nice golf on there. So, you know, we used to get 10 holes in, 9 holes in the afternoon. We all used to play. So now I play with some good players.
Was this your first time playing in Southeast Asia?
No, so I played here last year. So they had a contract for 2 years at the Rainwood Park in Thailand. So I played there last year, which was even hotter than this year. But I must have acclimatised a little bit this year, even though I'm still red.
Yeah, but I've been seeing some of your shots on Instagram. Looking like a real golf player over there.
Well,
no shanking, and that's fine with us.
Any possibilities of going pro then?
No. There's no possibilities of that. I mean, I played really well, and it was one of those couple of days where just everything came together and took the right shot at the right time, and executed it really well.
Have you ever played with Bill though?
I've never played with him. I've seen him play a few times, obviously, and I've heard obviously how good he is, and he's a very good ball striker. And I've seen it, to be fair, but he was still on the losing team.
You know the statement, he was a very good ball striker, that could apply to either sport really.
Oh, there's a lot of similarities between golf and football, and the one thing I would say is, you know, when you go in football, you're going into battle with 10 other players, and the managers and the fans, where, you know, in golf, especially in the singles event, it's a lonely place to be. So many thoughts going through your head about every shot, and but you have to overcome that, and that's the difference.
You know, Phil, I want to start by talking a little bit about Man United, because Faiz and I are both Man United fans. We have spent the last few years getting absolutely slammed on social media every time we try to have a conversation with Man United because of exactly what the situation is like. The last time I met you was actually at Carrington, and it was a day before United played City, which was Michael Carrick's managerial debut as the interim this time around. There was a lot of nervousness before that game because we didn't know exactly what to expect. But in the time that has passed since then, it's now been about 3 weeks. We've had 3 victories. United have supplied the sort of emotions that United fans have been missing for a very long time. There's a real sense of bounciness in the step when you walk outside these days. How incredible has it been the last 3 weeks?
Yeah, well, it just shows you how quickly football can change. I think obviously it's been well documented that it was a difficult period for the fans, especially the last couple of years. Not enough sort of stability in the performances on the pitch. But the 3 games we've had, and I think it's not just the winning the 3 games, I think it's the manner that we've won the 3 games in. Every game has been a little bit different. Every game has had a little bit, tactically been a little bit different in terms of the way we've set up, or in possession or out of possession. But certainly, my God, I don't think they could have asked for a better start. I thought the City game, they were absolutely excellent. You know, limited City to very, very few chances. You know, on the break, United looked like they were going to score every single time. They looked quick and sharp, and Against Arsenal, slightly different. Always going to be much more of a tougher test because Arsenal are the leaders. But I thought they came through it with flying colours. I think when it went 2-2, there was a potential case where you could have thrown a defender on and seen the game out, took a point. We put Sesko on and went for it. That, for me, when you talk about United, is the old United, where you're thinking, yes, you could lose a point, but you could also gain 2 at the same time. We did, and it was a decision that, if it had gone wrong, people would have said, well, would you put a centre half on or a 6 on to show the game up? But we didn't. And then against Fulham, we put another good performance in, different game, couple of setbacks again. But again, we kept on going. We kept on playing the way we wanted to play, and we got the win again. And 3 games, 3 wins, all different tactical adjustments within the games. But I thought been superb so far. Superb.
Apart from being your golf mate, the gaffer, Michael Carrick, he also played with you. You played with him.
Yeah.
And you also learned from him while he was the assistant manager to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer once upon a time. What kind of a manager or coach he is, in your word?
Very calm, just like he was as a player, by the way. I mean, when I played with him, he had to be the most underrated player I think I ever played with. Especially when I first joined United, I played in the midfield position with him, the 6. I just used to go around charging at players, tackling, give him a 5-yard pass, and he'd make me look a good player. But he had so much ability, and he's taken all that knowledge, his understanding of football, his IQ level is far greater than I've ever seen. And he's very calm, he's very calculated. I think the way he dresses players, the way he speaks to players is exactly how you want to feel as a player. You want to feel engaged and you want to feel wanted and cared for and listened to. And all those factors for me play a huge part in management. I feel like you can have the best tactical knowledge and you can have the best, you can win as many titles as you want and the money as much as you want. But if you can't go into a team and gain players' trust and belief, then you get found out very quickly. But I think what he's done is exactly that. He's gained the trust of the players straight away. You can tell the players are engaging just by listening to some of the commentaries, the players' comments after the games. You can see the way that they're delivering on the pitch and the performances, the way that they press teams, the way it's just a completely different feel. And it's really hard to put into words, but it's exactly, when you talk about the DNA and the history of the football club, it's exactly how you should represent wearing that Man United shirt.
I was really fascinated by something Lisandro Martinez. I mean, he's been out and about praising Michael Carrick after games recently, but there was one particular interview where he's, at the end of his lines, he said something along the lines of, if you touch my heart, I will give you absolutely everything. And Michael has touched my heart.
You have to feel that. As a player, you have to feel loved. Like, it's not, we're not talking about 20 years ago now where you come into the changing room after the game and you'd be ranting, you'd be raving, you'd be throwing items around the changing room. It doesn't work like that anymore. Football's moved on, football's adapted. You have to understand players in different ways and different players understand you in different ways, and you have to find a way of managing that. And one player may be able to deal with a little bit more criticism than what another player would have. One player may see it a little bit better out on the pitch, where another player might see it a little bit better on a video or in a classroom. You have to get a feel for what the players want, and I think Michael Carrick's done that to an absolute T so far, and I'm so pleased for him because he's a really good friend and he's been exceptional. And I think that the people that he's brought in with him as well. I think Steve Holland has been a wonderful appointment. I had Steve when I went away with England under Gareth, and I only have good things to say about
he's
Steve.
A top guy, no?
Top guy. On the grass, he's exceptional. The sessions that he delivers, the way he delivers them, the words and the way he communicates with players, I think that was a really, really good appointment as well.
Now, after 3 wins, you can see the fans are back to being somewhat optimistic about United this season. But there's still emotional baggage from the past. When Ole was in, you had this little upturn and then down again. Also the same with Ten Hag and Ruben Amorim. So the fans are now a little bit cautious to celebrate the success, the mini success that United is having now. is it going to repeat again, in your opinion, or what will happen, in your opinion, in the next couple of months in this season?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's 3 games. It's 3 games, right? So let's not get carried away. It's 3 games. There's a lot of rebuilding, shall we say, for confidence, for belief, for trust, for all those little things we spoke about. However, I think that the last 3 games have been tick in every single one of them. The way we've played, the way we've attacked, the way we've defended, everything that I watched the City game, and I think that for me was a performance that I could resonate with Man United, and that for me was, when I grew up watching United, before I even joined United, that was what I expected and see of a Man United performance. And look, let's not get carried away. There's still a long way to go. But I see the belief building every game, and that the confidence is building every game. And listen, I feel confident in saying that I feel like we've got a good chance of getting the Champions League this year, for sure, especially because 5th place will probably get Champions League as well. So there's a lot of positives to take, but let's not get carried away. Let's not run before we can walk. Let's keep building together with the fans, because they're a huge part of it as well. And they deserve that, because they've been through the mill and back. But let's stay united. Let's stay together. Let's stay grounded, and stay humble, and see where we are at the end of the season. Let's recruit well again in the summer. Let's get that right, and let's really attack next season. And you know, if you finish the season well, then why not challenge for the title next year? Why not?
Yeah. I think we can have the conversation about the Man United DNA in just a moment. But you know what I'm also really curious about, Phil, is when there's a managerial change at any club, it's often followed by this period of what people have labeled as the new manager bounce. And sometimes you see an uptick in form, and it's difficult to figure out whether this is down to the psychological new manager bounce, or is it down to tweaks and changes that the new manager has made. In the case of Michael so far, based on your observations, how much of it is down to a change in atmosphere, but also how much of it is down to genuine tactical shifts that he has made in the training ground and impacted the match?
Yeah, it's a great question. Everyone's always waiting for that manager bounce, and teams always hate playing against a team that's always appointed a new manager. I just feel like there was a different feel to the way we've won and the way we've been playing. I don't feel like it's
just about.
Yeah, it feels something a little bit different than that, and it's really hard to put into words and explain. I'm guessing viewers will think, well, what do you mean? But it's hard to put into words exactly what I'm talking about. But just a different feel around the place, a different aura. But listen, he's had a really, really good start. He won't be getting carried away. He's got the right team around him. He's got the right individuals and support network. He's got a team that are fighting for him, and a team that are willing to do everything they can to win games of football. They're a talented bunch of lads. You don't become bad players overnight. It's just a bit of tactical tweaks here and there. I mean, we were speaking before about the City game, the first game, and the biggest thing for me that stuck out in my mind was out of possession for United. How engaged, how compact they were, how well structured they were out of possession. They didn't allow any passes through the lines. I didn't see once in the game where Shirky or Foden or Haaland dropped into the 10 position and got turned and went onto our back line. The back line was high, it was compressed. They made it really, really difficult and limited City to very, very few chances. And I think that was the biggest shift I've seen, the out of possession from United. I think prior to Michael Carrick taking over and the work that they've done in the last three weeks, that for me, out of possession, they've been too easy to play against, too easy to play through the lines, 2 passes from the goal kick, and they've ended up with a shot of our goal. That can't happen in any game. So that's the biggest standout for me. On top of that, being ruthless and relentless in the other way, and being quick on transition. And so far, it's worked really well.
The one who will, go and do the instruction that is made by the coach or the players. Now let's talk a little bit about the squad composition and recruitment, because in the past, Phil, we all know that United has been heavily criticized for their policy in recruitment and always getting the wrong profile for the club and stuff. But last year, I mean, in the past 2 or 3 windows, they sort of got it right. Beginning with Matthias de Ligt, Joshua Zirkzee has been a little bit, here and there, but he's there. Also, the arrival of the 3 attackers, Cunha, Mbeumo, and Sesko. Now, going into the next summer, they have one big summer to really, not to say reinforce this team, but add more firepower to this team, add more solidity to this team. What kind of recruitment philosophy do you think that fits Manchester United right now? Do they need to buy the Premier League proven only, or they can still go and be wild in the market like in the Sir Alex Ferguson's days?
Yes, another good question. I think both. I think you have to have a balance. I think the recruitment has been really successful, and let's be honest, you can't get every recruitment right.
Yeah.
It's impossible. Yeah. No data can, people are heavily on data and rely on data a lot. And I always say, I love data, but the data supports what I see with my eyes and not the other way around. It cannot be like that. But I think they've recruited really well. I think Mbeumo, he likes to pronounce it. Mbeumo. I always say Mbeumo and Mbeumo.
Still a bit of a debate right now.
One of the kids 6, 7 and Mbeumo has been fantastic. Cunha has been terrific, and especially he didn't start the first 2 games, coming off the bench. Love that. Sesko looks like he's found his form and he's found his feet, and it's great to see him scoring goals, because it's not easy being the number 9 at Man United. There's a big pressure being a number 9 at Man United, but looks like he's heading in the right direction, which is great. De Ligt, I think, has been terrific this season since he got injured. But you can't stand still in the transfer market. You can't, and big teams always go again and go again and go again, and you can't stand still. I mean, if you're looking at the squad, I think they've got a really good balance. They're obviously going to lose Casemiro in the summer, who's came out and said that he's leaving. So that's going to be a void to fill. They're obviously playing Bruno higher up now. So does he bring somebody else to play in alongside Kobe? Maybe a 6, maybe a like a Kante-like type player. Kobe's the ball playing centre, number 6. Can you bring somebody else to play alongside that complements him really well? Do you go and get maybe another number 9 who could maybe a younger player, not necessarily who's going to start every game, but certainly compete with Sesko and Mbeumo if he plays a false 9. But I don't think they'll stand still. But it's got to be right. You can't just go into the market and start picking names out of hats and going, we'll go with that 100 million, 50 million. It's got to fit the United way, the United tag. And I think that's what they've got right in the last sort of couple of windows.
It's also the character, isn't it? I mean, when you look at someone like Cunha, he's beloved right now not just for his footballing ability, but it's also the sort of character,
the persona,
the personality that has been.
He enjoys the pressure. Playing for Man United, I always say, and they always say, pressure is a privilege, and I understand that. But playing for Man United is huge pressure. There's no getting away from that. You are criticised when you win. You are criticised when you lose. You are criticised when you play well individually. You just got to deal with it and find a way to deal with it and cope with it and have a strong mentality to put that aside. But I think the way that those players have come in, especially Cunha, he looks like he thrives on that. He looks like he enjoys the pressure, and that's the type of personality and trait that you need at the football club. Picking that and finding them, is hard. It's difficult, especially younger players. You don't know how they're going to react to playing for Man United. You can have all the data, you can see them, you can watch game after game after game, but until you put them in that position, it's a gamble. But you're never going to get them all right. But I think, like I said, they've got more than not right in the last 12, 15 months.
Maybe Cunha is a perfect example of what you said. The data follow your eye test and not the other way around.
Yeah, I mean, that's just my opinion. That's just. A lot of teams do it differently. A lot of clubs do it differently. They'll use data to crunch the numbers together to sort of minimise the list of players who fit the profile of the characteristics of what they see in the football club and their philosophy. I hate the word philosophy, but it's the philosophy of the football club. But yeah, listen, they're going the right way. and they're in a good moment at the minute.
It's funny you say you hate the word philosophy, because I was about to ask you
What my philosophy is.
What exactly is the Man United philosophy? This has been
a Man United philosophy is attacking. It's aggressive. It's pressing high up. It's winning the ball back high in areas. It's if they score 3, we'll score 4. Bit like the Fulham game. Yes, there's a setback. Yes, there's another setback, but no problem. We'll get the last goal and we'll win the game. That's the United way. Fans want to be excited. They want to be entertained. They want to be. You know, if you lose a game, no problem, and they can accept that. But there's a way to lose a game.
There's this school of thought, though, Phil, and this is where I'm genuinely curious to get your thoughts. I think when we use the word the United way and exactly what you described, I think those are things that appeals to the emotions of United fans, even us, because we grew up watching that iteration of United. You know, bombing down the wings, finding whatever it takes to win. Even Thierry Henry, I think, recently said on a show that. The United way during his days was all about just finding a way to win, right? Doing whatever it takes to win. But there's a school of thought these days that suggests that in order to be dominant in the way football is played, you can't be a transition side. You've got to control possession, you've got to build up, you've got to dominate the ball. Whereas United in the past has been a bit more of a transition team. Do you think that makes sense, or do you think there's still a room for a team to be a dominant transition team even today?
I agree and disagree at the same time. I don't think you have to be a possession-based team. I don't think I don't think you'll find stats that say that if you have more possession 9 times out of 10 you'll win the game of football. That's not the case. You can be. I always say that you can still be in control of the game without the ball. You know, when another team's got the ball, there's still no need to panic.
Yeah.
You know, if you're 1-0 down without the ball, there's no need to panic. There's still time to cause teams problems in different areas that they've worked on in the game. But I think as time evolves and as time adapts and United go through next season, maybe you'll see players come in, maybe you'll see a shift in the way that United play. But that's not just... You can't bring a new manager in or appoint Michael Carrick and just expect everything just to fall in place and expect us to win every game to the end of the season with no problems, plain sailing, we're getting the Champions League and we're fighting for the league next year. Football doesn't work like that, and I know that's how fans want to see it. And listen, I was a fan myself. I grew up watching Blackburn. Like, I wanted to see them win. They were, you know, seeing them win a 2001 Worthington Cup final. That was the best I've seen. But time, step by step, and maybe you see more of a different identity developing at the end of this season and going into next season. Maybe you see more of that. But I think for now, I think you will see more of the transitional. Attacking sort of way of playing. But listen, I've still seen in certain parts of the game, I mean, even against City, I thought there was a passage of play where I think, albeit United were 2-0 up in the game, passage of play on the left side of the pitch where they popped City off the park. City were chasing shadows for 5-6 minutes. So again, stats can sell us so much, but unless you watch the game and get a feel for the game, we always talk about possession and possession-based, and if you have the ball, you've more chance of doing this and that. But I like to see the game and feel the game, and I don't really look too much at the stats after the game. I like to gauge my own view of the game rather than looking at stats and going, oh, well, City should have won because they had 70% of possession and United only. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, some say the only Man United way, the only true Man United way is just winning, and that's that.
Exactly. You find a way to win, and in games where you're not playing well, by the way, I don't think we've seen a game in 3 games where they've not played quite well. Maybe that's coming against Tottenham. Maybe they don't play quite well against Tottenham, but they find a way to win. They find a way to grind a win out, a result, whether it's from a corner, a set piece, whether it's a scruffy goal that comes off someone's hip or whatever. They find a way over the line.
I want to get your thoughts, because you've been a part of Man United dressing rooms that had so many of these strong characters. And when we talk about the United way, which is finding whatever solution it takes to grind out a victory and to make sure you leave the match with a win, in situations like that, a lot of the times it's not just a culture that is enforced by the manager, it is also a culture that is enforced within the dressing room by players. During your time being a part of those dressing rooms, who are some of the big characters that played such a fundamental part in enforcing that sense of belief that even when you're losing in a game, you take a look at your teammates and you know, we're going to come out of this with a win?
Yeah. God, you're asking some good questions today. No, listen, when I joined United, we had, Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, Nemanja Vidic, Rio Ferdinand, Wayne Rooney, Michael Carrick, Patrice Evra, Dimitar Berbatov. Like, the list goes on. Like, we had some huge characters in that dressing room. And I always say that we didn't have to have a manager who managed us. The players managed that dressing room themselves. If the standard was creeping down just a slight fraction, there would be messages in the dressing room like we'd have a collective meeting within ourselves that maybe even the staff and the management didn't even know about. They managed the dressing room. They managed it by the way they applied themselves in training, the way that they rehabbed, the way they ate and drank and just dedicated their whole life to Man United Football Club and whole life to football. That's the sort of, for young kids coming through, especially for me, watching these players. I mean, for example, there was one game we played away at Stoke away in my first season. And I think we drew the game 1-1. And for me, being at Blackburn, it was not a bad result, but it was okay. It wasn't bad. And I remember getting into the changing room after the game. I remember sitting next to Rio in the dressing room, and he said, it's not good enough here. Like, we don't do that here at this football club. And that was the first time. I think it was only like my 10th game in. It was probably the first time I realised, like, wow, like, this football club wins every single time and every single game. Like, there's no slipping up. There is no margin or room for error. Like, that's the level, that's the standard you have to get to every single game, every single training session. And that was a big eye opener for me.
Maybe one of the last question, Phil. This is closer to you, closer to your position, because you left United as a centre half, and now there's a partnership. There's a new partnership that Harry Maguire and Lisandro Martinez both coming back from injury and being such an integral part of Michael Carrick's setup. We moved from back three before this under Ruben Amorim to now back two. And before the first match against City, I remember there are a section of fans, they're sort of worried that the disease in the Ten Hag era, where we were cut open very, very often, would repeat again. But that doesn't happen now. In your opinion, as a former centre half of Man United, why does that happen?
Why does it happen?
Why does it happen? Why is it more positive now and not being cut open like
because we're defensively out of possession, as I spoke about before. We are set up in a better structure, and what I mean by that is the triggers to go and press. Is it a bad touch? Has he come inside on his weaker foot? The little fine details that every day you wouldn't really see watching the game, but these are the details that you hone in on before the game. Every player knowing when to press. You know, if the 10 jumps, the 8 comes round. If the fullback jumps into midfield, the whoever comes round and fills that void, and there's the relationship all over the pitch, and you block lines to play through. And I think that the line is playing higher up rather than further back. When I've been there myself, when you're not confident and you've got a bit of lack of belief going into the games, you don't really want to jump into midfield and go and press because you're thinking about the space behind you. Now they're going bang, Martinez comes round, Harry straight in, wins the ball on the attack. There's just a better relationship all over the pitch, and that's credit to the players, but also the staff for the structure and the balance that they've got to set the team up in that system. And I think it's working really, really well. I think the combination Martinez and Maguire have had has been superb so far.
Yeah, the first choice, no? No?
For me, at the minute, yeah, but you've got to say that obviously De Ligt is still to come back from injury. I think he's been terrific. He was probably the shining light so far this season. Before he got injured, I thought his performances have been exceptional. You've got Aiden Heaven, who I feel like is going to be a top player. I like how calm he is in possession, very calm, picks the right pass. Okay, there's going to be times, there's going to be times where he makes mistakes. They're young kids, they need help, they need players around them. But I think in that position at the minute, it looks really, really solid, really solid.
Yeah, you know, for what it's worth, we spoke about a lot of fiery characters like Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, Lisandro Martinez, Cunha, even Harry Maguire, you know, players that go and win possession. But it also feels that, for what it's worth, Man United are also really benefiting from having some boring, quote-unquote, figures. I was reading an article from Michael Cox in The Athletic where he talked about Michael Carrick during his playing days was often labelled as a boring type of player who kept things simple.
He knows that.
And
listen, Michael Carrick would find space in a phone box. Like he was that good. No, seriously, he was that good. And I played the position with him, and every time I got the ball, I was always surrounded by 3 or 4 players. But somehow he managed to find acres of space on the pitch, and he wasn't a boring player. Michael Carrick was a unbelievable player. The range of passing he had, the weight of pass, the laces inside, the reverse pass, goal scoring.
All with precision. Yeah.
All with this.
He's one of those players, it feels, that would be so much more appreciated today than he was back during his playing days.
I agree with that.
Even Lamans at the back has kept it very cool and calm as well. So there's a couple of these figures, including Michael himself, who are just being very low-key, focusing on game by game, not necessarily stealing headlines, not necessarily even Michael saying anything that's too controversial in the social media, and everything is sort of helping Man United as we speak. Honestly, Phil, we could go on and talk for hours, but unfortunately we got a bit farewell. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much
for taking the time to be on Bola Itu Live.
Thank you.
A quick reminder bahawa Phil Jones akan menjadi sebahagian daripada liputan Liga Perdana Inggeris di Astro Premier League hujung minggu ini. Ada 2 perlawanan besar membabitkan Manchester United dan juga Tottenham Hotspur, selain Man City menentang pasukan Liverpool.
Tentunya ini bukan kali terakhir Phil Jones bersama dengan Bola Itu Live. Nanti kita akan buru dia lagi.
Kita cuba buru.
Kita akan buru dia lagi.
Terima kasih. Kita akan berehat sebentar. Jangan ke mana-mana. Selepas ini kita sentuh sedikit tentang Selangor. Selamat kembali ke Bola Itu Live. Tadi kita dah pun settle setengah jam, Faiz, kita borak bersama dengan Phil Jones.
Terima kasih Phil Jones.
Kita korek begitu dalam tentang Manchester United. Tetapi sekarang kita nak tolak tepi bola sepak antarabangsa, kita nak kembali ke tanah air kerana tak boleh lari, Faiz. Ini adalah minggu yang penuh dengan pelbagai jenis berita kontroversi yang harus kita bincangkan, yang tak boleh kita lari. Yang saya rasa paling mendominasi naratif di media sosial adalah berita tentang UltraSel, kumpulan penyokong pasukan Selangor, yang minggu lepas ada sekitar 30 lebih orang yang ditahan pihak polis di Kuala Terengganu. Yang pertama adalah atas sebab mereka membakar suar di Terengganu Drawbridge dan mengacau ketenteraman awam, itu yang dikatakan oleh pihak polis. Jadi pihak polis melakukan tangkapan terhadap mereka, tetapi kemudiannya ada sesuatu yang lebih berat kerana segelintir daripada mereka didapati memiliki beberapa jenis dadah dalam kuantiti yang berbeza lah. Jadi itu juga menjadi salah satu punca yang melihat segelintir individu tersebut didakwa di mahkamah juga. Benda ini menimbulkan satu perbincangan, kritikan yang hangat terhadap UltraSel. Polemik juga. Saya rasa kita dapat kenyataan daripada The Royal Family of Selangor juga keluarkan kenyataan mengecam perbuatan mereka.
Kelab juga mengeluarkan
kenyataan. Rival fanbase banyak menggunakan kesempatan ini juga untuk melontarkan kritikan yang lebih terhadap UltraSel, terhadap kumpulan penyokong Selangor, dan seperti biasa kelab bola sepak Selangor terkena tempiaslah daripada situasi dan skandal ini. Faiz, hari ini saya nak ada cubaan untuk kita melakukan satu perbincangan yang wholeheartedly honest, yang jujur, yang mengambil kira pelbagai jenis perspektif, yang tidak menyokong ataupun memberikan sokongan kepada mana-mana pihak, tetapi yang membincangkan perkara ini dengan telus. Reaksi anda apabila berita tersebut pada mulanya keluar, bagaimana?
Pertama-tama sekali saya cuba untuk memahami kronologi kejadian tersebut. Saya difahamkan pada petang itu, ketika itu saya sudah pun berada di sini, di studio kita, kerana pada malam itu perlawanan yang mereka nak hadiri itu, perlawanan di antara Terengganu FC menentang Selangor FC itu, pre-show dia diacarakan oleh saya dan juga beberapa rakan pandit kita, dan agak terkejutlah bila sebelum kick-off saya dah terdengar benda ni. So saya cuba fahami kronologi dia macam mana. Hari itu Kish adalah hari bekerja untuk orang Kuala Terengganu, dan Drawbridge itu adalah salah satu penghubung lah, jalan penghubung, jalan utama di Kuala Terengganu, yang mana dengan perarakan yang tanpa izin ni, tanpa memiliki izin ataupun apa oleh UltraSel ni, menimbulkan ketidaksenangan hati semua orang yang ada di situ. Dan ini tak baguslah, kerana seharusnya kalau kita ke tempat orang, atas apa tradisi bola sepak sekalipun, kita tidak boleh mengenepikan rasa hormat kepada orang lokal kat situ. Dan itu sekaligus menjustifikasikan penahanan mereka inilah, kerana mereka benar-benar mengganggu ketenteraman orang lokal di sana. Tapi Kish, di sebaliknya, kita sering kali membicarakan di Bola Itu Live bahawa produk ini, iaitu produk Liga Bola Sepak Tempatan ini, adalah produk yang semakin hari semakin suram. Walaupun dalam musim ini ada beberapa contoh ataupun ada beberapa ketika yang mana kita lihat ada sedikit kebangkitan, sedikit demi sedikit, tetapi itu tak datang secara terus-menerus. Jadi bila ada bencana yang seperti ini, Kish, berita yang kurang enak seperti ini, segala usaha untuk menaikkan bola sepak ini sedikit demi sedikit semuanya terkena tempias. Kerana suka ataupun tidak, event-event macam inilah yang akan mendominasi dada-dada akhbar, yang akan menjadi tajuk-tajuk artikel, yang akan menjadi tajuk-tajuk perbincangan di social media. Dan bila dia sudah mula memasuki ranah social media ni, Kish, dia akan mendapatkan reaksi dari pelbagai pihak. Sama ada pihak yang reaksi mereka benar ataupun pihak yang reaksi mereka sekadar untuk baling batu sembunyi tangan lah. Dan itu yang paling tak best sekali dalam isu ini. Dan kita menunggu beberapa hari sebelum kita mengeluarkan kenyataan ini di sini, dan kita nak ulang dekat sinilah, walaupun atas dasar budaya bola sepak ataupun budaya sokongan apa pun, masih lagi apa yang harus dijunjung adalah rasa hormat kepada tempat di mana anda berada. Dan nombor dua adalah walau macam mana sekalipun, undang-undang tak boleh dilanggar lah, Kish. Dan di situ ada beberapa juga undang-undang yang mereka langgar. Bukan sahaja undang-undang mengadakan perarakan tanpa izin ataupun menyebabkan ketenteraman awam itu threaten ataupun menyebabkan ada kekacauan di satu tempat yang lain. Tetapi juga saya kira perkara-perkara macam ni seharusnya boleh dielakkan. Tak seharusnya berlaku. Kalau nak perarakan di perkarangan stadium contohnya, yang tak mengganggu siapa-siapa. Mungkin anda boleh dapatkan juga visual itu dengan suar ataupun apa, mungkin boleh dapat juga. Tetapi untuk melakukan perkara ini dan merancang perkara ini dan menyangka bahawa tidak akan ada repercussion adalah satu perkara yang sangat naif lah daripada UltraSel.
Saya just nak cakap, saya nak preface, saya nak ulang semula. Kita tidak sesekali menyokong apa-apa aktiviti yang mengganggu ketenteraman awam. Dan pada waktu yang sama, ini harus kita tegaskan, tak pernah sesekali pun di Bola Itu Live kita akan menyokong apa-apa aktiviti yang membabitkan penggunaan bahan terlarang. In this case, penggunaan dadah. Kita tak akan sokong benda itu.
Apa jenis dadah sekalipun.
Apa jenis dadah sekalipun. Tetapi having said that, perbincangan tentang UltraSel dalam beberapa hari sejak kebelakangan ini, saya rasa bukan sekadar tertumpu kepada insiden tersebut sahaja. Kita faham bola sepak ni adalah sukan yang penuh dengan elemen tribalism. Di mana saja ada ruang untuk kita mengeluarkan elemen-elemen banter untuk menjadi sangat tribal dalam pertuturan, dalam lontaran kata-kata, kita ambil kesempatan.
Seolah-olah kaum saya lebih baik daripada kaum anda.
Itu biasa dalam bola sepak. Jadi kesilapan yang dilakukan oleh UltraSel ini sekarang ni digunakan sebagai a talking point for tribalism untuk menjadi naratif yang dominan.
Dia jadi fuel lah.
Dia jadi fuel. Tambahan pula, UltraSel ni dah memang ada reputasi of being anti-establishment sikit. Mereka melanggar establishment. Sebelum ini banyak melontarkan kata-kata yang pedas. So, sememangnya mereka dah ada puak-puak yang tak berapa menyukai mereka. Mereka dah ada their own enemies, their own quote-unquote haters. Dah memang ada. Jadi peluang-peluang seperti ini akan digunakan oleh pihak-pihak tersebut untuk kini membalas dendam melalui kata-kata dan cuba menjatuhkan image dan reputasi UltraSel. Dan bukan aku nak katakan UltraSel tak ada lakukan perkara yang buruk. Memang mereka lakukan perkara yang buruk yang sememangnya ada jatuhkan image mereka. Tetapi pada waktu yang sama harus kita ingat bahawa banyak kritikan-kritikan mereka sebelum ini, banyak pandangan-pandangan yang mereka lontarkan sebelum ini datang daripada hati yang tepat, hati seorang penyokong. Walaupun mereka ada lakukan kesilapan-kesilapan dan melibatkan diri dalam kegiatan-kegiatan yang tidak boleh kita beri sokongan langsung, tetapi itu tidak menidakkan usaha mereka sebelum ini untuk memartabatkan arena ataupun scene bola sepak Malaysia. Itu je yang aku rasa sedikit kecewa dengan lah. Sebab aku rasa macam, aku setuju dengan aku rasa bola sepak Malaysia ni is satu arena yang sangat-sangat suram, yang dilanda dengan pelbagai jenis kontroversi, yang telah pun melihat ramai orang, termasuk ramai rakan peribadi aku sendiri, hilang kepercayaan dengan produk, hilang kepercayaan dengan pasukan sendiri, bahkan tidak lagi merasakan sebarang elemen hubungan dengan pasukan. Right? We have seen that happen so many times. Dan dalam arena tersebut, UltraSel adalah sebuah entiti yang aku pandang sebagai one of the few that are doing their level best to brighten up the football scene. Yes, ada segelintir daripada mereka yang telah pun melakukan kesilapan yang terbesar penggunaan dadah. Dan saya rasa segelintir itu layak menerima apa sahaja hukuman yang bakal dikenakan kepada
mengikut
mereka
undang-undang
mengikut undang-undang Malaysia. Itu semua harus kita hormati dan mereka akan berdepan dengan hukuman tersebut. Tetapi kesilapan untuk membakar suar di drawbridge itu bagi aku that's just an honest mistake. Ditangkap polis itu wajar kerana mereka melakukan kesilapan. Tetapi adakah kita harus menggunakan perkara ini untuk melontarkan lebih banyak kritikan untuk membunuh terus momentum sokongan? Tidak. Sebab bagi aku pembakaran suar yang sebelum ini mereka lakukan di banyak lokasi itu has been such an important part of memeriahkan suasana bola sepak. Bagi aku football culture dan flair adalah sesuatu yang comes together di mana sahaja dunia, right? Dan
datang dalam bentuk gandingan.
Betul. So it has to coexist di mana saja. Cuma dia perlu coexist dengan cara yang lebih tenteram lah. Dan just one final thing sebelum aku lontarkan semula kepada hang adalah bahawa kadang-kadang di Malaysia ni kita mahukan budaya sokongan yang taat setia, yang obedient, yang tidak ada persetujuan, yang tidak ada percanggahan pendapat, yang tidak ada elemen-elemen anti-establishment. Bola sepak adalah sukan that is rooted in anti-establishment. Dari dulu sehingga sekarang ada elemen budaya-budaya punk dalam bola sepak yang sehingga sekarang di Malaysia hidup melalui kumpulan-kumpulan sokongan ini. Banyak lagi penyokong-penyokong yang jenis kelab buat apa pun dia layankan je. I'm not saying you are right or wrong, tetapi setiap arena bola sepak memerlukan sebuah kuasa anti-establishment. And for UltraSel, aku pandang mereka sebagai the force of anti-establishment untuk bola sepak Selangor. Dan mereka sangat diperlukan lah bagi aku.
Untuk hanya mengikuti apa saja kata klub ni perkara yang mudah, Kish.
Betul.
Lebih-lebih lagi kalau anda ditaja oleh klub kan. Tapi untuk yang melawan ni sentiasa ada risiko. Dan penyokong juga, Kish, adalah menjadi antara entiti yang sedikit entiti yang menjadi yang menjadi sinar dalam bola sepak Malaysia di sebalik kesuraman bola sepak Malaysia ni. Penyokonglah orang dah, Kish. Dengan ketiadaan Kedah dan Perak tahun ni di top flight, itu dah boleh dikatakan 40% daripada penyokong ni dah gone dah ni. Tinggal lagi 60% ni di-share oleh semua 13 pasukan dalam Liga Super. Kuching kita tengok cemerlang dengan kehadiran yang memang tinggi setiap perlawanan, ditambah pula dengan form mereka. Negeri Sembilan di awal-awal musim sampai sekarang bolehlah. Lepas tu ada Johor dengan cara Johor, dan juga ada beberapa pasukan lain lagi yang memang suram sokongan mereka. Dan bila ada UltraSel ini yang di MBPJ tiap-tiap minggu ada saja mereka di sana, tetapi tiba-tiba ada pula diganggu oleh berita ini, jadi tak shock lah. The only thing that is flying the flag di dalam bola sepak Malaysia sekarang ni, yang tu pun ada kontroversi. Jadi tak best sikit lah. Saya harap bukan saja UltraSel lah, semua section sokongan di Malaysia ni boleh belajar daripada insiden inilah supaya tidak terjadi lagi di masa depan.
Macam hang cakap, Faiz, di Malaysia ni ada penyokong. Tetapi majority of the football fans yang hadir ke stadium adalah penyokong-penyokong yang datang apabila prestasi pasukan sedang berada di kemuncak. Ketika prestasi pasukan mengalami kesukaran, mereka ramai-ramai tidak akan datang ke stadium. Kita dah nampak fenomena tersebut. UltraSel ataupun mana-mana kumpulan penyokong ni adalah the small group of people yang menyokong dengan prinsip. Menyokong dengan prinsip ni adalah budaya yang kita jarang nampak di bola sepak Malaysia. Prinsip yang mana ada certain things they demand from the club and then we show up and support.
Ini bukan masalah betul ataupun tak, prinsip saja.
Prinsip saja. Tetapi of course seperti yang katakan, di sebalik semua budaya sokongan yang sedang mereka cuba bangkitkan, berlaku satu insiden yang tidak dimahukan. Insiden yang salah di sisi undang-undang, insiden yang tidak akan kita sokong, tetapi bagi aku harap insiden itu tidak digunakan untuk membunuh terus budaya sokongan yang sedang cuba dicetuskan oleh UltraSel.
Peluang untuk mereka membuat introspeksi diri dan juga tampil lebih baik di masa depan. UltraSel. Kita
akan berehat sebentar. Final reminder, jangan cuba bunuh anti-establishment culture dalam bola sepak Malaysia. Kita bukan semua boneka untuk duduk dan dengar sahaja apa yang dilakukan oleh semua badan pengelola dan kelab-kelab bola sepak. Harus ada force yang menekan dan
check
and balance kepada arena bola sepak. Kita berehat sebentar. Jangan ke mana-mana. Selepas ini kita borak sikit tentang Selangor di pentas Shopee Cup. Selamat kembali ke Bola Itu Live. Memandangkan kita merakam episod hari ini pada tengah hari Khamis, kita tak sempat untuk membuat liputan tentang aksi JDT kerana JDT akan beraksi
malam ni,
petang atau malam ni dalam aksi Shopee Cup. Terlebih dahulu kita sempat menonton Selangor semalam. Dan Selangor memperoleh satu keputusan yang positif penentang biji patum dan sekaligus berjaya melayakkan diri ke pentas separuh akhir The Shopee Cup. Dia macam ni Faiz. Aku tahu Shopee Cup ni adalah kejohanan yang tidak menyumbang apa-apa mata dari segi AFC ranking kepada Selangor. Ini adalah tournament yang masih lagi baru, masih lagi reputasinya agak kecil. Dan aku cukup memahami kritikan penyokong Selangor yang berpendapat bahawa sepatutnya tournament ini tak jadi fokus pun untuk Selangor. Selangor patut lebih fokus untuk ACL 2. Saya bersetuju. Saya pun rasa patut. Saya
tak bersetuju, tapi anda bagi tahu dulu kenapa anda bersetuju.
Saya bersetuju kerana saya betul-betul rasakan bahawa kalau mereka fokus dengan player recruitment dari awal musim, kalau mereka mendapatkan player-player yang sepatutnya dari awal musim, ACL 2 would have been a far better performance daripada Selangor. And Selangor needs to do well in the ACL 2. Kerana ACL 2 punya mata inilah yang membantu situasi dan juga kedudukan Malaysia dalam tangga AFC untuk melihat kita dapat slot AFC ACL 1 dan ACL Elite dan ACL 2. Kita tak nak suatu hari nanti Malaysia hanya dapat satu slot saja, right? That could happen. So segalanya bergantung kepada Selangor dan kejohanan ACL 2 yang jauh lebih berprestij. Tetapi pada waktu yang sama, saya tak nak menidakkan pencapaian mereka di Shopee Cup. Kerana pencapaian ini, as frustrating as it is yang ia baru berlaku sekarang, tetapi Selangor di bawah Kimpan Gon bagi aku have found a rhythm. A rhythm yang mereka menghabiskan berbulan-bulan untuk mencari, tidak berjaya mencari, dan akhirnya sekarang mereka berjaya mencari perkara tersebut di bawah Kimpan Gon.
Ada yang saya setuju dan saya tak setuju lah. Yang saya setuju, akhirnya rhythm yang anda sebutkan tadi itu mereka jumpa. Lebih baik jumpa sekarang daripada tak jumpa langsung. Walaupun secara idealnya kita nak perkara ini berlaku daripada awal musim lah. Penyokong-penyokong Selangor, ia baik untuk penyokong-penyokong Selangor dan baik juga untuk kemaslahatan Liga ini. Kesihatan Liga Malaysia. Dan apa yang saya tak setuju adalah kalau ada segelintir penyokong yang mengatakan bahawa tak sepatutnya Shopee Cup yang menjadi fokus mereka. Sepatutnya Liga Super, Piala Malaysia, Piala FA dan juga ACL 2. Tetapi Kish, untuk pasukan yang tidak memenangi apa-apa sama sekali dalam sedekat, mereka tidak ada dalam posisi memilih. Apa saja yang mereka boleh dapat, mereka kena capai dan mereka kena bawa balik.
Termasuklah Challenge Cup musim lepas.
Termasuklah Challenge Cup musim lepas. Walaupun ia dikira sebagai second tier tournament ataupun apa, menang, dapat piala, ambil hadiah, bawa balik dan letak itu sebagai satu batu loncatan untuk anda. Dan itulah terjadi pada Selangor dalam saingan Shopee Cup kali ini. Semalam seri 1-1 layak ke separuh akhir. At least di dalam minggu yang agak suram untuk penyokong Selangor, terutamanya atas kes yang kita sebutkan tadi, adalah sesuatu untuk diraihkan oleh penyokong-penyokong Selangor, Kish.
Saya nak zoom in kepada seorang individu. Individu bernama Faizal Halim. Yang kita, Faiz, dah kadang-kadang dah hilang kata-kata untuk describe Faizal Halim ni. Tetapi kita harus juga mencari jalan untuk membincangkan dia, kerana Faizal Halim dengan Kim Pan-gon ini is a combination that's very special. For some reason, every time dia bermain di bawah Kim Pan-gon, he's a different player altogether. Bukan kita nak mengatakan bahawa Faizal Halim sebelum kedatangan Kim Pan-gon ini dia tidak memberikan impact untuk Selangor. Ada. Sememangnya masih lagi dilihat sebagai sandaran utama di bahagian serangan. But there is a special uptick in form. Ada peningkatan prestasi yang unik sejak kemasukan Kim Pan-gon sebagai ketua jurulatih. He has been on incredible form. And aku rasa benda ni berbalik kepada hubungan peribadi dia bersama dengan Kim Pan-gon. Aku masih lagi ingat ketika dia melalui fasa yang cukup sukar, iaitu apabila ada serangan asid terhadap beliau. Kim Pan-gon was one of the earliest people yang pergi melawat dan mengikut beberapa info yang kita dapat daripada rakan-rakan yang kita kenal dalam industri. Kim Pan-gon siap menangis lagi apabila berjumpa dengan Faizal Halim. How much of Faizal Halim punya current form ini is down to that relationship bagi hang?
Saya berada di stadium ketika anda buat studio show dan saya hadir sebagai penonton biasa saja. Di dalam perlawanan terakhir Christopher Gamel menentang JDT kalah 2-0 di MBPJ. Dalam perlawanan itu saya dah berbicara, saya duduk di section penyokong Selangor lah bersama dengan beberapa penyokong tegar pasukan Selangor yang tak miss tengok game kat MBPJ kalau Selangor main. Okay. Salah satunya juga rakan kita Ariel. Dan bila saya berbicara dengan mereka, apa yang kita dapat daripada perlawanan tersebut adalah sebuah kerisauan. Adakah Faizal Halim punya prestasi ini ada sedikit penurunan dan adakah dia boleh kembali untuk ke tahap yang kita percaya dia boleh kembali di dalam musim ini juga. Tetapi ternyata pada time itu kita tak tahulah itu perlawanan terakhir Christopher Gamel kan, yang selepas itu Kim Pan-gon akan datang. Tetapi Kish hanya memerlukan satu perlawanan untuk tempoh peralihan tersebut daripada Gamel ke Pan-gon ini. Selepas itu beliau secara tiba-tiba dah jumpa balik prestasi beliau seperti mana yang sebelum ini ditunjukkan, standard yang ditunjukkan bersama-sama dengan pasukan Selangor. Dan ini bukan satu perkara baru dalam bola sepak Malaysia, Kisha. Hubungan baik di antara seorang pemain dan juga seorang coach. Kita ingat gandingan lah, kita panggil gandingan antara Cik Gujan, Norizam Bakar dan juga Yusri Cik lah, yang memang ngam lah pemain ini. Juga Irfan Bakti dan Syukur Adan sebelum ini. Arwah Azraiko dan juga Nelson Sam Martin contohnya. Yang ada certain managers, Kish, saya rasa K. Devon, Yunus Alif, semua ada pemain yang boleh menjadi gandingan mereka, boleh represent diri mereka di atas padang. Dan apa yang dilakukan oleh Faizal Halim sekarang ni, dia represent Kim Pan-gon di atas padang untuk Selangor FC.
Sangat-sangat refreshing untuk melihat. Actually aku tertarik dengan comparison hang. Mungkin kita boleh sentuh sikit. What are the other coach-player relationship yang kita ingat? I mean, one of the ones yang bagi aku,
Gomez dengan dia saya ingat di JDT. Under Mario Gomez, Jorge Perez memang.
Ni satu lagi, Chip, Datuk Zainal Bidasar dan Dixon.
Kalau lokal Razman Roslan.
Kalau lokal Razman Roslan.
Kalau Dola Saleh dengan Afif Amiruddin, ingat di mana saja Dola Saleh berada.
Ataupun Muslim Ahmad.
Muslim Ahmad juga.
Di mana saja coach Dola berada. Muslim Ahmad berada.
Boyan Hodak siapa? Boyan Hodak dia banyak pakai player.
Kalau di KL dulu, aku ingat Boyan Hodak dengan Gigi lah.
Giancarlo Gallifuco.
Boyan Hodak dengan Gigi memiliki satu hubungan yang sehingga sekarang aku rasa agak rapat juga. Itu yang banyak keluar rumor kadang-kadang Gigi nak ke Persib lah apa-apa.
Kalau mendiang B Sarjan rakan kita,
ini menarik.
Banyak tu. Syukur Adan pun ya juga.
Syukur Adan pun ya juga.
Lim Chan Yu ya juga.
Lim Chan Yu pun ya juga. Sebagai coaching staff. Kalau ketika dia bersama di Kelantan.
Kalau Kelantan, dia bawa siapa tu? Dia bawa Said Adni.
Kalau ATM dulu?
Marizal. ATM dia ada Marlon, dia ada Venice Elfi, dia ada beberapa pemain lain lah. Nizaruddin Yusof juga ada di sana di
kalau
ATM.
Kalau lagi satu, kalau Nizam Jamil siapa? Nizam Jamil kalau saya seingat saya lah dari zaman Felda dulu Hadin Azman. Sekarang Hadin ada di Negeri Sembilan juga kan.
Di Negeri Sembilan juga. Juga kalau yang aktif sekarang ni coach Kuching City Aidil Syarin, Rodney Kelvin bersama dia sekarang di Kuching dan juga di Kedah sebelum ini.
Ni Ronald Ngawanja
juga.
Itu pun combination coach Aidil Syarin.
Tetapi kita setuju di sini FH7 memang menjadi representasi kepada Kim Panggon untuk pasukan Selangor di atas padang.
There is something really special brewing there. Aku excited to see the second half of the season untuk Selangor.
Bolehkah Selangor nak capai satu piala season ni?
I hope they can. Because macam ni Faiz, aku sangat teruja untuk melihat baki musim ni untuk perspektif Selangor because finally I feel yang diorang dapatkan beberapa signings yang tepat.
Okay.
Berbanding dengan awal musim. Tengok awal musim bila William Lira masuk. Sebelum dia sepak bola pun fans Selangor dah tahu ini adalah signing yang salah. Sebab kita dah pernah tengok dia beraksi dulu, right? Dia bukanlah memiliki rekod jaringan yang paling luar biasa pun. Tetapi sekarang ada beberapa kemasukan yang agak mencuri tumpuan, right? For example, Diarra yang masuk di posisi centre back has been very well taken to by Selangor fans. Kepulangan Safwan Baharudin juga telah menambah kekuatan di bahagian belakang. Pada waktu yang sama, penambahbaikan di beberapa
Kim
posisi.
Kim Ji Ho, pemain Korea Selatan pertama dalam sejarah Selangor.
Ni juga kemasukan
Hamzah Bomo.
Seorang lagi yang Mahame CB juga dibawa masuk. So there's a few of these additions. Di bahagian hadapan juga aku tahu ada seorang lagi tambahan. There's a few of these additions dan kesemua ni bagi aku meningkatkan keterujaan untuk menonton pasukan Selangor buat baki musim ini.
Harap-haraplah boleh pulang satu piala Selangor.
Sebab bola sepak Malaysia ni memerlukan a second force, Faiz. Dah lama kita ketagihkan a second
variasi
force. Variasi pencabar. Kita dah lama memerlukan perkara tersebut. Baiklah, itu saja
daripada Bola Itu Live minggu ini.
Perbincangan minggu ni kita borak dua tim dalam warna merah. Kerana jangan salahkan kami ini bukan Bola Itu Man United. Ini bukan Manchester United Itu live. Tapi bila ada Phil Jones yang datang studio, takkanlah kami nak borak Arsenal dengan Phil Jones. Takkanlah kami nak borak Liverpool dengan Phil Jones.
Takkan nak borak Spurs pula.
Takkan nak borak Blackburn Rovers dengan Phil. Kenalah borak Manchester United dengan Phil Jones. Dan juga Selangor tak boleh lari sebab ini minggu yang kontroversial untuk UltraSel dan juga Selangor terpaksa kita bicarakan. Jadi terima kasih kerana menonton. Ingat, Bola Itu Live bukan sekadar di Astro Arena, juga di Astro Go dan Suka. Boleh anda layan secara podcast di aplikasi Shock, di Spotify dan juga di Apple Podcast.
Kita jumpa lagi di minggu depan.